Emma and Alex had always been close, almost inseparable, ever since childhood. Growing up, they shared everything: secrets, laughter, even their most embarrassing moments. Their bond was natural, effortless, and comforting. As they entered adulthood, the dynamic between them began to shift in a way neither of them had anticipated. Emma had been in a committed relationship with her boyfriend, Tom, for a few years, but as time went on, her feelings toward Alex began to change. There was an unspoken tension, a subtle spark that seemed to grow stronger every time they spent time together. What had once been innocent, friendly moments now felt laden with something more, something neither of them could easily define or ignore. Alex, too, noticed the shift. He had always been protective of Emma, but the emotional connection between them was deepening in ways that felt strange and unfamiliar. They began to question whether what they were feeling was something more than just family affection. The attraction was undeniable, but neither of them could reconcile it with the guilt that gnawed at them. The complexities of family bonds and romantic feelings collided in ways that neither Emma nor Alex had anticipated. At the same time, Alex started dating someone outside of the family. His new relationship sparked an unexpected sense of jealousy in Emma, who found herself feeling more conflicted than ever. She started questioning her own feelings and what they meant for her relationship with Tom. She couldn't ignore the pang of longing she felt when she saw Alex with someone else. Was it jealousy because she was afraid of losing him? Or was it something deeper, something she wasn't ready to admit to herself? Tom, on the other hand, was starting to notice Emma's subtle changes. She was more distant, lost in thought more often, and there was an unspoken tension whenever Alex was around. He had no idea what was going on, but his instincts told him something was off. Emma found herself torn between the two men, one who had been a stable part of her life for years, and the other, a person who had always been more than just family. The closer Emma got to understanding her feelings, the more complicated everything became. She had to make a choice, whether to confront her emotions for Alex or to salvage her relationship with Tom before things spiraled too far. With every passing day, Emma found herself standing at a crossroads, questioning whether she could balance the delicate line between loyalty to her family and her own desires. As the weeks passed, Emma couldn't escape the mounting pressure. Her relationship with Tom felt like it was slowly slipping away. Every conversation seemed more strained, more distant. Tom, usually so attentive and understanding, had begun to pull back, sensing that something wasn't quite right. Emma couldn't bring herself to tell him the truth. She wasn't sure what the truth was. Was she in love with Alex, or was it simply a confusing mixture of family closeness and new emotions that she hadn't yet figured out? The more Emma wrestled with her feelings, the more she found herself seeking solace in Alex. They spent more time together, often talking late into the night, sharing their thoughts and confessions, unknowingly deepening the emotional bond between them. One evening, while walking through the city after a family gathering, they found themselves alone in a quiet park. The night air was cool, and the sound of their footsteps echoed softly between the trees. It was in that moment, with the weight of unspoken words between them, that Emma realized how much she had come to depend on Alex for emotional support. Suddenly, the air felt charged, and before Emma knew it, Alex was standing too close, his hand brushing against hers. It was subtle, but the contact lingered, and in that instant, everything shifted. Her heart raced, and she could see the same uncertainty reflected in Alex's eyes. They both knew they were teetering on the edge of something dangerous. "I don't know what's happening between us, Emma," Alex said softly, his voice almost a whisper in the night. "But I can't pretend I don't feel it anymore." Emma looked at him, torn between the comfort of their connection and the guilt that weighed on her chest. "I don't know what to do, Alex. I never expected this feeling." They stood there for a long moment, neither of them making a move to break the silence, until Emma finally took a deep breath and pulled away, creating the space they both needed. She felt the conflict rise within her like a tidal wave. The truth was, she didn't want to be in this position. She didn't want to choose between Alex and Tom, between family and love. But the more she thought about it, the clearer it became. This wasn't something she could ignore forever. The next few days were filled with tension. Emma withdrew further from Tom, unable to hide the distance that had grown between them. He noticed, of course, but when he tried to talk to her, she only pushed him away. It was as though the emotional gap between them had widened so much that no words could bridge it. Meanwhile, Alex's relationship with his new girlfriend, Lily, seemed to be growing stronger, but Emma's jealousy continued to gnaw at her. Every time she saw them together, laughing and sharing intimate moments, she felt a pang of longing. It wasn't just jealousy, it was a deep sense of loss, as though something precious was slipping through her fingers. One evening, after Alex had left to meet Lily for dinner, Emma found herself standing in front of the mirror, staring at her reflection, wondering what had become of the person she used to be, the girl who had been sure of her place in the world. Was she still the same? Or had she lost herself in this tangled mess of emotions? In a moment of clarity, she realized that whatever had happened between her and Alex couldn't be undone. She needed to face the truth. If she couldn't let go of her feelings for him, if she couldn't stop thinking about him, then she needed to figure out what that meant for her future and for her relationship with Tom. The next day, Emma called Alex and asked him to meet her. They met at a cafe, and for the first time in what felt like ages, she looked him in the eye without the weight of guilt pressing down on her. She knew she had to make a decision, and it couldn't wait any longer. "I need to know what we're doing here, Alex," she said quietly. "I can't keep pretending that everything is fine when it's not." Alex looked at her, his face filled with understanding. He reached for her hand, but this time, Emma didn't pull away. "I don't know what the future holds, but I do know that I don't want to lose you. Not like this." Emma took a deep breath. "I don't want to lose you either, but I need to figure out what this means for me. For us." The decision was harder than Emma could have imagined, but as she sat there, surrounded by the quiet hum of the cafe, she knew it was time to face the consequences of her actions. Whatever happened next, she had to own her choices. She had to decide what kind of person she wanted to be and who she wanted to be with. And so, with the weight of her emotions hanging in the air between them, Emma made her choice.